What's up, YouTube? It's ReallyRick, and it's time for the inaugural edition of ReallyRick's Tinfoil Hat News. Now, anytime a large-scale catastrophe takes place, the conspiracy theorists come out of the woodwork to offer alternative explanations for what occurred. One of the most famous conspiracy theories in recent years was about how our government either let 9/11 happen or actually masterminded the attack to justify the war in the Middle East. Now, I am no fan of the Bush administration, and I know they did some evil and covert shit. So, with the speed and the power of the internet, alternative theories about the origins of last Friday's earthquake in Japan sprung up almost immediately. I already talked about one of those possible explanations floating around the web, that the earthquake was divine or karmic retribution for Pearl Harbor. As I'm sure most of us would agree, this is pretty racist, not to mention ludicrous, and as I tweeted over the weekend, if this event had really been karma for the atrocity of Pearl Harbor, the earthquake would have struck Ben Affleck's house. Oh, and let's not forget the Iranian cleric who last year proclaimed that earthquakes were the result of immoral women and their boobs. But there have been other theories that don't sound as completely and utterly ridiculous, although personally I still think they're a little wacky. Here are three of what appear to be the most popular ones. On March 19th, the moon will be the shortest distance from the Earth since 1992. And according to some, the gravitational pull between the two will be so great that it will cause unpredictable events on Earth, i.e. earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and massive tidal waves that could lead to major destruction. Although this earthquake happened 2 weeks before the actual supermoon, was it caused by the lead-up to that event, as some on the internet are claiming? According to most scientists, there is no correlation between the moon's gravitational pull and geological events on Earth, and at most, a supermoon would only slightly alter the behavior of the tides. But those who continue to believe in this explanation cite the fact that 2 weeks before the last supermoon in January 2005, a massive 9.0 earthquake in the Indian Ocean triggered the huge tsunami that damaged large portions of South Asia. And in other previous supermoon years, 1955, 1974, and 1992, unusually extreme weather or natural disasters were reported. Another popular theory is that the United States government is secretly testing atomic weapons underwater for both safety and intelligence reasons, and that the explosions created by these tests may have affected the tectonic plates, leading to the earthquake in Japan. Versions of this theory have actually been around for a few decades and have some basis in fact. From 1945 to 1992, the U.S. did conduct numerous underwater tests of nuclear devices, and there has been past evidence that underwater nuclear testing has caused landslides, which can in turn trigger a tsunami. But whether or not testing should cause an earthquake of this magnitude, or whether anyone was even doing any sort of atomic testing at all, is speculation. But if our government were indeed conducting such tests, it raises another question for conspiracists. Was it an intentional ploy to trigger an earthquake and or tsunami? Which leads to our final theory. We intentionally caused the quake to lower oil prices. I'm sure everyone who drives a car has noticed the sharp rise in gas prices recently. And sure enough, after the earthquake, oil prices dropped below $100 a barrel. Some economists are saying this disaster is good for business, as Japan's need to reach out to other friendly countries to help rebuild will benefit the United States, which means there are those who believe that if a disaster like an earthquake is going to help bring down oil prices and stimulate our economy, they're not going to put it past our powers that be to create the disasters themselves. But how does one exactly create an earthquake of that magnitude? Enter HAARP, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Based in Alaska and funded in part by the U.S. Air Force and Navy, HAARP is an isospheric research program that exists to develop enhanced technology for radio communications and surveillance. HAARP is also sort of a lesser-known cousin to Area 51, and the whole web of conspiracy theories have blossomed over the years around that facility. And what are some of the things HAARP is allegedly responsible for besides this recent earthquake? Well, last year's Haiti earthquake, the downing of TW Flight 800, the Gulf War Syndrome, and other disasters.